Hey everyone, I just wanted to post a quick video to let you know that I have revised the primary source assignments. They are done through Module 2. I'll be building into Module 3. As you've probably noticed, I still need to build out Modules 3 through 7. So that's something I will be doing here over the weekend and into early next week. But just in case you wanted to get started with the primary source assignment, I wanted to show you that it is, or mention that it is done, and kind of walk you through what I changed and why. So here we are at the beginning of our course. I've changed this so that you can click this image to enter the course at the current module. Please note that I have to change that manually, so although it's correct right now, I may get a little bit off schedule in the future, and if that happens, you can just go to modules to get to the one you need. But I'm going to click the image. Here we are in Module 2. And now the way that I've set up the modules for the rest of the semester is going to be the same. We'll just be covering different materials. So for example, this 2-week period that you're already working on, and I've seen some of your work on Twitter and so forth, we're looking at the earliest kind of large-scale sedentary agrarian societies across the Eastern Hemisphere. So what I've done is I have included the dates of the module so that you'll know which is the first Sunday and the second Sunday, because that's key to how I've set things up. I've also given you an intro with an image. That'll be similar throughout the course. As we scroll down, this is where the first Sunday and second Sunday part comes into play. So you'll see which assignments are due by the first Sunday, which by the second, and here are the overall objectives for this unit. The readings, again, almost always we're just going to stick to the textbook. Every now and then I may throw in a supplemental article that'll be an option. I've added videos. I wrote videos and or podcasts because I'm hoping to be able to include some podcasts as well. But for now, most of these videos, which for whatever reason the thumbnails don't show up, these are from John Green's Crash Course series because they fit so well with our course. So I've included those. And again, as I've noted here, if you don't have time to watch all of those, that's fine. They're meant as a supplement to the reading. So if you have questions or things you didn't quite understand with the reading, these, of course, come at it from a different perspective, but they are going to cover many of the same major topics that we're reading about. So that might help in terms of understanding, so that you can then move on to complete your reading tweets, your discussion, your journal, and if you choose to, the primary source response. So again, what this does is reminds you to go to Twitter to complete your reading tweets assignment. Scrolling back up, if you have questions about what that assignment entails, go to the syllabus tab, not necessarily the assignments tab. The assignments tab is where the submission areas are. But if you go to the syllabus tab, I'm not going to click there now, you'll be able to find the assignment instructions for all of the assignments along with the syllabus. So again, if you kind of forgot, I don't quite remember what other details there were about the reading tweets, you can go back and check that out. These need to be completed, of course, by the first Sunday. The discussion question, which many of you are already posting, needs to be done by the first Sunday as well. This is how you go to the discussion board. Whoops, I think I clicked it. Maybe I didn't. Good. I didn't need to. But that's where you go to the discussion board. These are the instructions. Similarly, for the journal entries, click this, you'll get the instructions for the assignment, and then click here to submit the assignment. Primary source response, you only have to do these for 3 modules. They are a little intensive. I mean, I'm asking you to really drill down into a primary source and think critically about it in these assignments. So similarly, click here for the assignment, click here to submit. You don't have to do one for Module 2, but you do have to do them for 3 of the modules 2 through 7, if that makes sense. And I'll be building those out. As I mentioned, I keep everything open so that you can work ahead if you would like to. but you do need to have everything done by the due dates that are in the syllabus and in the modules. So I'm going to open up the assignment here. It pops open in a new tab. And what has changed, many of you have already looked over this, what has changed is the primary sources themselves. So I thought that we had put the version of the textbook with sources in the bookstore. Turns out that's not what happened. So many of us have the version of the book without sources. So rather than point you to the book to find the sources you'll need for this assignment, instead I have created a list. So you click this link, it opens another Google Doc where I am creating a list of sources. So as it says here, for Module 2, I broke them down by chapter. We're reading chapters 2, 3, and 4. So essentially what we're covering is the Levant, India, and China. So you can go and decide what source you would like to evaluate in more depth. You can look through these. They're all open internet sources that are primary sources from the ancient world that have been translated and transcribed, of course, so that you can read through those and think about how they fit with what we've been studying in the current module. So I'm going to go back to the assignment itself. Scrolling down, here is where the assignment kind of begins. So this is from here to the bottom. These are the questions you need to answer in your own Word document or Google Doc or whatever word processing tool you use. You list the title, author, creation date of the source you chose, contextual information. Again, you can read through the specific questions, source information, historical significance, and then interpretations. And this last one, what you'll need to do for interpretations is think about how the source fits into the themes that we read about in the textbook. Sometimes, like in the case of Hammurabi's Code, for example, the source will be directly referenced in the text. Other times, it may not be. And so you have to think about, and you may have to do a little bit of additional research to contextualize the source. You have to think about what themes does this source address? How does this help me better understand or give me different insights into what was covered in the chapter? So again, these questions, I've phrased them with the idea that the authors will have discussed your source. If that's not the case, though, say the authors didn't specifically address my source, but this is how my source fits into what was covered in the chapter. So hopefully that makes sense. So then you can talk about the ideas that were presented in the document and explain how that tied into main themes that were covered in the chapter. Okay, and then you can look through and see the scoring rubric there. Hopefully that all makes sense. I'm scrolling back up here. Let me just go to our course. As I always mention, if you have any questions about anything about this project, or I should say assignment, the final project, anything we're doing, if you get lost, sorry, I'm outside and somebody has a diesel. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. If you get lost, again, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always happy to help out. I hope that this video helped a little bit. There are probably some of us who are like, I just wanted to see the primary source assignment, but I did want to go over navigation one more time, just to make sure that you understand how I put the course together, so that if you look in the modules and just follow down the whole page of the module, everything will always be there for you. If you click away from the module, though, and you know, I just need to submit my primary source assignment, that's when you can use the assignments tab here. Or if you just need to do your discussion, similarly, go there. But just scroll down to, oh, that's interesting. I hadn't looked at that from the student perspective before. So this puts them in order. So you can just see what's coming up, and you can say, I wanted to do the Module 2 primary source. You find it on the list, and you click on it. If you couldn't tell, that list looks a little different from the instructor perspective, but the idea is the same. Everything is there for you in the same way. And again, if you need to look at the primary source instructions, they're here as well. That'll just open this document that we looked at. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Please let me know what questions you have, and I look forward to continuing our work together.